Hello and welcome to A Hare in the Garden. I'm Katie Hare, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the different seed varieties that I'm going to be growing in my garden this August. Before we jump in, if you could do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. The first three varieties I'm going to be planting are not the most aesthetic when it comes to the seed packet. The reality is that I have already torn off the tops, so I actually don't remember what brand they are with, but going to be planting some more okra, some yellow squash, as well as some snow peas. So I planted these earlier in the season. None of them did particularly well. I have some okra growing behind me, and my snow peas did come through, but I only ended up with maybe 5 or 6 pods. Likewise, my yellow squash did not do particularly well this year. So my hope is I've torn some things out of the garden and I've put some compost down, and I'm hoping that by remineralizing the soil, giving it a little bit of food, I'm going to have a better go in this kind of in-between season between my spring garden and my fall garden. All right, next up we have our sugar pie pumpkins. These are from Botanical Interest. Likewise, I've torn off the top. I've planted these in the garden earlier in the season. I've already had about 3 pumpkins come to ripen and are sitting in my kitchen ready to cook. I'm hoping to get a couple more just spread out throughout the season, kind of spaced out, so that I can have pumpkin treats all fall long. This next one is romaine lettuce. Romaine is typically a cooler weather lettuce, so I'm going to be planting this later in the month in the hopes that I get some really robust romaine kind of going into our cooler September, October phase. Likewise, I have 2 varieties of carrots that I'm going to be planting later on in the month. It's still a little too hot to be planting them where I'm at. Carrots are notorious for not liking the super hot heat, so they're not quite ready to go in the ground, at least at this point on August 1st, but I'm hoping later in the month I'm going to be planting some carrots again for this kind of in-between summer and fall crop that I'm hoping to get. One quick note, I have one variety from Botanical Interests and another from M.I. Gardner. This is my first time using M.I. Gardner seeds, and so I'm really excited to give them a shot and see how they work in my Zone 6B garden. Also, quick note, this is like my second video on YouTube, so I don't get any sort of benefit or kickback from any of these seed companies. So these are just genuinely what I'm using in my garden at this point. Next up is one that I'm really excited about. Again, it's from M.I. Gardner, and I'm going to be growing calendula. Calendula has a lot of different uses. It's medicinal, it's beautiful, it's also used to keep insects out of the garden, so I'm really excited to start planting these. Now, these I'm going to probably plant in the mid-month. They don't require, again, that heat, but they're not quite a cold weather plant either. So this is my first time planting calendula. I'm really excited to see how it grows and basically use it as an insect repellent as well as for its medicinal properties later down the road. Next up, I have artichokes. This is going to be a tricky one. This is one that I have wanted to try for a while and haven't trusted myself to be able to grow in my zone. Artichoke is typically a more Mediterranean vegetable fruit, and so it does not necessarily do particularly well in a climate like mine. So I'm going to be playing around trying to trick it into thinking that this is a more Mediterranean, more climate than it is, and we're going to see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to go that well, but we're going to give it a shot and see what we can do with artichoke. Earlier in the summer, I planted spinach. We had an incredibly wet and mild beginning to our summer, and so I thought I could get away with it. However, in about mid-June, we had this horrible, like just incredibly hot week that got very dry. So my spinach unfortunately did bolt, and it created those really bitter leaves that just are not very tasty. The plus side is that with the bolting, it did create a number of seeds. So I did save the seeds from my spinach, and I'm going to be trying to plant those again, probably towards the mid to the end of the month when it's starting to cool down a little bit, see if I can get some more spinach out of this growing season. The next thing I'm going to be growing isn't so much a seed packet as it is an amalgamation of seeds. I have my handy dandy seed bag, which has all the seeds that I hope to grow in my garden one day. And along with that, there have been quite a few seeds that have made their way to the bottom of the bag. So I'm just going to basically pull all of those seeds. I'm going to put some compost down in a virgin area of my yard, and I'm going to plant these random seeds, see what pops up. I think I've got some okra, there's some different types of peas, there's some different types of squash, and I'm just going to see what grows and if anything comes up. So it's going to be a crapshoot, but it's going to be fun. Stay tuned, and I will make a follow-up video showing what comes up from the miscellaneous seed bag. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I'm new to the YouTube game, so still figuring out my footing and my cadence, all that good stuff. But if you enjoyed today's video, again, if you could do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And look forward to bringing you along in my garden journey.